Texas guy and a Southern girl moved to Japan. He's Bill, and I'm Carolyn Hancock. We wrote letters home about daily life, our travels, and making new friends. It was a time too precious to forget because, really, haven't we all wished we knew more about our family history? I'll talk about the challenges and the fun in short bites. Join me on the journey. Bill has been riding the scooter to work and, in fact, gave up the rent car yesterday, August 30th, 1994. Bill gets to work 10 minutes sooner on the scooter and loves it. Laws for driving scooters are very lenient, possibly to encourage their use. He scoots past stopped cars and, of course, tries all those tiny streets. The decision to not keep the company car apparently cannot be changed, so we will be here for the duration on scooters and public transit. Buses for 3 different routes stop across from my apartment. From any one of those, we can go to a subway or train station. I really have been concerned about wet or cold weather problems riding the scooter. If it becomes impossible, we can always buy a used car and still come out ahead. 4 o'clock every day is my street shopping time for groceries as I ponder what's for dinner. I can go 2 blocks in any direction and get whatever I need, fresh, for supper. No more lockers at Sati for me. Everything we need is on the street, and prices are lower than Sati. The metric system is used for measurements, and meat is sold by the gram rather than pound. With the prices so high, I shop with the intention of no leftovers. You know, those things that get refrigerated then thrown out. Monday's menu was American. 3 boneless pork chops, 640 yen. 2 ears of corn, 160. 2 huge carrots, 100. 5 small potatoes, 100. So food to cook for dinner cost 1,000 yen, which is $10, with 1 carrot and 2 potatoes to cook for another meal. The thing is, though, that I had to go to 3 different little shops to get this food. Most beef is sold sliced very, very thin. No pot roast here. I think the reasons are that most recipes, from sukiyaki to beef bowl, call for it that way, and the thin slices seem to go much further in a dish. It's unusual to cook such small amounts of meat in the States, but here it is perfectly normal and, in fact, is really enough. Yesterday's meal was a Japanese recipe for beef with potatoes, cooked in mirin and soy sauce. What's mirin? Well, it's a liquid used in almost every Japanese recipe. It is sake mixed with sugar, used like cooking wine or cooking sherry as flavoring. Soy sauce is also part of every recipe. Last week I fixed grilled corn, which was delicious. It was boiled as usual, then basted with the mirin soy sauce mixture and broiled. Just fantastic. The local library has a small section of books with several cookbooks. The first 2 I checked out turned out to be companions. One, The History and Etiquette of Japanese Foods, and the other, a cookbook of Japanese recipes. So, the story is, I would read about the history of a food, shop, cook, and, while eating on our cardboard box table, relate the story to Bill all about the food he's eating. I guess there's no end to the entertainment in our home. And it's getting a little more comfortable in our home on Sunday, September 3rd, 1994, because we bought our $100 sofa from a couple who are retiring. The man was a pilot with Japan Airlines, which is cutting their foreign staff with early retirement packages. We also met some pilots with ANA, All Nippon Air, which is cutting back. All of them say that what is really happening is that airlines feel they now have enough qualified Japanese pilots and flight engineers, and they want the foreigners out. Apparently, so many Japanese pilots were killed during the war that it took a whole generation to train another round of pilots. During this time, pilots of all nationalities have been flying Japan commercial flights, training the native Japanese. Now their job is done. Anyway, the couple is moving back to their home close to Destin, Florida. Isn't it a small world? So close to Mobile, Alabama. A lot of the foreigners here are members of the club, YCAC. So we dutifully took our tour of the facilities last weekend. They were hosting a cricket tournament with teams from other countries. YCAC has lawn bowling, a nice pool, 5 tennis courts, 2 squash courts, a basketball court, bowling lanes, restaurant, library, all the amenities in a building that has the look of the 1950s. Members are of all nationalities. Well, the membership fee is quite high, as is the monthly fee, so we probably won't join. Many expats spend most of their free time there, but to me, it's more interesting to do a variety of things, like exploring all that Japan has to offer. Since tennis is a primary interest of Bill and me, we wanted to tour and get information on the Yokohama International Tennis Center. It was on the map, but we went in circles trying several times before turning onto what looked like a driveway into Yamate Catholic Church. Remember, most streets are not named. We were on 2 different streets that suddenly became steep descending steps with no warning signs. Talk about backing off. But behind the church, we found not only the tennis center, but also the Yamate Park public tennis courts. So now, let me tell you how you get to play on public tennis courts. The fee's not bad, $4 to $6 an hour. It just takes a little planning, like at least a month. Selection is by lottery. During the first week of a month, you mail a card to the court of your choice, and there are quite a few, listing the date and time you would like to play the following month. Cards are drawn, the schedule filled in, and you are notified if lucky. There are probably 6 parts. Very nice one, within bicycle distance. Guess I can send cards to each one. One morning, Debbie and I walked to, well, we actually accidentally found Shemin Park. It has several pools, tennis courts, baseball field, and fairly large walking backing path. There was also a backboard area to practice tennis strokes, painted as for 3 doubles courts, so it had quite a lot of room for several people. 3 kids were hitting at the board, and an older man walked up, hooked his bag up, and walked around, apparently waiting for one of the 3 to finish. In the States, he would have just squeezed himself in and hit the ball. Will I be an English teacher? Mm. In riding around today, we stopped at an apartment building one of Bill's coworkers has moved into. A Japanese man came running out saying, "What you doing here?" Bill told him, and I said something, and he immediately started asking, "Where we live? What train station is close by? Where we from?" Funny kinds of conversation questions. Finally, he asked if I teach English. Said I have good patience, good heart. Turns out he was looking for an English teacher for classes, which he organizes. Women who work at offices during the day want to take lessons at English-speaking persons' home at night. The pay is $40 an hour teaching one or two people. I don't know. There seems to be a surplus of teachers already. Bill's company, in fact, just started a Japanese class for us last week. I treasure these memories of Japan and its culture and people. Thanks for listening. We'll keep these stories to about 10 minutes, so come back for the next one. Please follow me and let your friends know about Letters from Japan.